Hello and welcome to another news video podcast. I'm Freddie Herzog.
I'm Hughes.
I'm Rhiannon Doyle-Maw.
I'm Patrick McGhee.
Today we're going to be discussing the big issues that occurred in the latest edition, including castle cars, new library provisions during exam time, the sabbatical officer elections and the protest that happened last week. Rhiannon, you're going to kick off with castle cars, which is on the front page this week.
This week we published the Castle Cars article. We've been working on it for a few weeks now. Due to the nature of the article, dealing with issues of complaints from students, we had to consult Castle Cars and give them enough time to respond. We started off the idea by looking on Facebook, and we found that students have been complaining about being overpriced in comparison with the guide on the Guild website. From there, we conducted our own investigations, collecting receipts and putting the article through the legal aspects, trying to make sure everything's factually correct. Unfortunately, Castle Cars didn't respond to a request for a comment, and after 2 weeks, we decided to run with the article anyway. Other than that, it was a really interesting article to investigate, and it's just taught us about gathering evidence for future stories.
Yeah. Patrick, you're going to be talking about the sabbatical officer elections going on at the moment.
Yes.
Yes,
they're coming up. The previous week's edition, we decided to do a Boxplot asking students what they thought of the sabbatical officers, and it turned out that quite a few of them expressed kind of a bit of confusion, or they didn't really understand what the roles were. So what we decided to do was, because the Guild election candidates have just been announced, we decided to have a full page on revealing who the candidates were, a little picture of them, and also a short paragraph explaining what that role is, so that everyone understood what the role is. And we also included one of our beginner's guides, a short one just explaining what will be happening over the next few weeks, a timeline, and just a bit of overall explanation fused with the news, just to explain what positions are. We also had on a part of the page two short comment features, and this is the first time that the comments and news sections have kind of merged their sections together on this page, just to kind of give an overview of what some of the early emerging trains of thought are about that.
hopefully that'll be something we'll be doing a lot more in the future as well.
Yeah, definitely working with the online sections coverage of the elections, that'll be really good, kind of working with them, making sure that the students can understand what's going on. In the next week's issues, there's going to be a pull-out of the candidates' manifesto when they're released in the next week's Redbrick, so that should be really good.
Anna, you're going to be talking about the library provision during exam times.
Yeah, we heard this week that the University Main Library is going to trial a 24-hour opening. It's the first that the library's ever done this, and it's going to be in the first 2 weeks of term 3, which according to the library is when it's busiest. So they're going to try it and see whether it's going to be viable, whether enough students take up the offer, and then after that we're going to be doing it annually. This is a really interesting story, I think one that students have kind of been wanting to happen for quite a long time now. I know Mark Harrop has been kind of in talks for a while, trying to convince the university that it's a good idea. And also it's something that comes up in the National Student Survey quite a lot, that a lot of other universities have it and we don't. So hopefully it's going to be stick around with annual things. I think it's going to be really beneficial to students. So that was just, it all came out with a meeting with Mark. Yeah, that was quite a good story time this week.
There was also last week the protest on campus, which was against the banning of occupational protests. This deviated off its planned route. It was originally meant to just go round the clock tower and back to the Guild, but it went round the back of the Aston Webb building, so throughout the whole of campus. And this meant that while it was originally an officially Guild-sanctioned protest, Mark Harrop, the Guild president, had to very quickly say, this is now not a Guild issue, this is a university issue. So we've got the article in print this week. We also had quite a lot of online coverage with videos, photos, and a kind of timeline of what happened. We're also going to be having in print this coming week kind of the aftermath of what happened. There was quite a lot of violence, a couple of people were arrested, so we're going to be investigating that and seeing how that goes. Yeah. Okay.
That's it for this week's Redbrick News Video Podcast. We'll be back in the next few weeks and we've got a few more investigative stories to talk about. If you've got any news on campus that you think we want me to hear about, email us at news@redbrickonline.co.uk, or tweet us at Redbrick News.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.